and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live transfer news update show. And in today's video, we've got lots to talk about, lots of players to talk about, lots of news to talk about, and a lot of news contradicting themselves. Stories have come out saying Manchester United will not sign any more players because it's unlikely outgoings are going to happen, so we can't buy anyone unless we sell anyone. Stories are coming out saying that Paul Pogba could go, Jesse Lingard's looking more and more likely to going, and Donny could go. And then it's like, that doesn't make sense, because if we sell a player, we're going to sign a player, but then there's stories coming saying we're not going to sign a player. There's news coming out that we're secretly in talks with Camavinga, trying to get this Camavinga deal over the line, and we're leaking stories that we're not going to sign anyone to try and help us get Camavinga over the line and get Rennes to lower the price. There's so much news that's come out in the last few days regarding Haaland, Neves, Camavinga, Saul, Lingard, Donny, Pogba, basically everyone. And I'm going to be discussing that in today's video, as well as you getting your guys' opinions in. So do make sure, if you're not subscribed, that you do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. Share this video, hit that like button, and more. But news coming in is that Kane will stay at Manchester City. Will City go out and get a striker? Will this make it harder for Manchester United to get Haaland next summer? As we know that Erling Haaland is Man United's priority next summer, been confirmed today. Lingard may stay, as Ollie wants him to stay. However, West Ham are prepared to go in for a bid for Lingard. Will Donny stay or go? If Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, PSG have the funds for Pogba and will make a move for Pogba. Camavinga talks still going on despite Man United saying no more signings. Man United need to sell to buy. Man United have the money to buy CDM, but Glazer out. We're still run by fools. We want Neves, Saul and Camavinga, but it depends on ounce. We can't actually afford a CDM. We're being so tight. The news on that, and it is negative news, secretly a positive transfer tactic, and how the board is still run by clowns. We've got so much to talk about. We'll get in with some live chats as well and get right into the news. But Ponipa says, why can't Neves sign even if nobody else goes? United seem reluctant to let go of their deadwood, so getting new players in might be a necessity. And we need to get a necessity. We need to get players in, but for some reason we can't get rid of our deadwood. And this is something I really, really want to talk about, guys, is West Ham are willing to pay £30 million for Zouma, who I guess is younger and has more years on his contract than Jesse Lingard. But West Ham are willing to spend £30 million on Zouma, a centre-back from Chelsea, rather than a player that was their best player on loan for them the last 6 months of the season, that helped them get top 6 in European qualification. West Ham will not spend £25 million on Jesse Lingard, but for some reason are willing to pay £30 million on Zouma. And I just think that highlights how poor our board is. If Arsenal can get 25 million for Willock, if West Ham are willing to pay 30 million for Zouma, why won't they pay 30 million for their best player in the last 6 months of the season, Jesse Lingard? Like, I get 30 million for Jesse Lingard would be overpaying for a player that is 28 with 1 year left on his deal. But I think this just highlights how poorly Manchester United are run as a club, that we can't even get 20 million for Jesse Lingard. You know, we know that we want to sell Jesse Lingard. We know that we can't offer Jesse Lingard first 2 minutes whether Ollie likes the player or not. But for some reason, we can't get 30 million for Lingard, but at even 20 million. I think United are at a point where they'd accept 20 million for Jesse Lingard. You know, I do think it's worrying how bad our board is run. We've had this whole summer to get rid of Lingard, Pereira and Jones. We didn't even get rid of Pereira permanently. We got him a loan deal. We can't get rid of Lingard, and we definitely can't get rid of Phil Jones. And we've had a whole summer to get rid of all these players that, in a situation as a Manchester United fan, this is really, really frustrating. This is really annoying. What is going on at the club? Get it sorted. We are run like idiots. You know, when you look at it, we're paying Sancho and Varane over 5 years. You know, we didn't pay that much money for Varane, 38 million. We paid 72 million for Jadon Sancho. You know, you're telling me that Man United need to sell a player to sign the marquee CDM. I think we have the money available to sign a CDM. I just don't think we have the owners that want to go out and get a CDM. I don't think our owners want to go out and get a CDM because it's Glazer-nomics. If you actually look at the transfer window, and I'm not trying to be a spoiled brat here with the transfer window. Yes, Sancho and Varane are very good signings, and I'm glad we're not in a situation where we're spending money on pointless crap like Arsenal do. Arsenal wasting so much money on the likes of Ramsdale and Ben White and players, I don't know. But I sit here and go, Sancho was last summer signing. We got him in a year later just so we could save money. Sancho was last summer signing that we just got this year. So Varane's the only real signing we've made this summer. And we've known this whole summer that the most important position that we can address is the CDM position, and we still haven't. And we're in 6 days left of the transfer window, where the players we're looking to sell, we don't even know if we can sell. We're saying that we can't afford anyone when Real Madrid, who are meant to be worse financially than us, can put a £150 million bid on Mbappe, and I'm going, bullshit, United, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You can afford a CDM. We're just run by the same people, the same sloppy owners that don't want to get a CDM. However, saying that, the news does contradict itself. We are still in talks with Camavinga. We are still in a race for Camavinga, and Romano has come and said something, so I will discuss some transfer news in just a second. But yeah, just frustration from Manchester United in general. Guys, please do hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video, and all of that stuff. Fabrizio Romano said on Twitch today that West Ham are still keen on Jesse Lingard. Still no agreement between the clubs. We will see what happens in the last few days of the transfer window. So we do know that West Ham are still in for Jesse Lingard. So if we do manage to sell Jesse Lingard, we will be in fact be able to go for Ruben Neves or Camavinga, despite Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and despite negative news coming out saying that it's unlikely that we will sign anyone, because this has been confirmed by Romano. And adjusting that both Manchester United and Chelsea are in fact in talks for Saul Niguez, but Romano has confirmed that Chelsea are the only club to have actually made an official proposal. And then Duncan Castle says on his transfer podcasts that Manchester United have in fact accelerated their interest in Camavinga over the past week. We also did make contact with Tchouaméni's representatives to find out what it would cost to buy him as well, but we are focusing on Camavinga. So that's a little bit of news that came out. United and Chelsea are in talks for Saul Niguez, but I believe Chelsea are leading the race. Buy Neves and swap Martial or James with Saul. I don't know if we could particularly do that. Ollie persistent with Scott McSauce. The midfield situation is something that I don't really want to talk about too much on the channel. It does frustrate me, but we will talk about that at some point. Pogba is staying this season. It's confirmed. Well, yeah, it has been confirmed that Pogba will stay this season. However, if PSG sell Mbappe, they have the funds to get Pogba. And if Pogba says, I'm going to go on a free to Man United, if Pogba goes to United and goes, what? If you don't sell me, I'm going on a free next season. You know what you're not like? The Glazers, they love money, and we wouldn't be reluctant to sell Pogba. This is the situation at Man United that really frustrates me, is that we would happily accept cash for players like Paul Pogba, Martial, Donny van der Beek, but we don't want to sell players that are actual deadwood, like Daniel James, Pereira, Lingard. It's like, yes, I guess our deadwoods are worth less values, but Man United, if Pogba was in charge of it, Man United would be selling Donny and keeping Fred around, because we're just run by absolute idiots. Pogba will leave for a free second time. I'm worried that is the situation. But I'm going to scroll down and read a few more live chats, and then I'm going to get into exactly what's been said by Romano and some tier 1 journalists. Alicia says, keeping Lingy because Davy Moisey is coming back to save the sinking ship. Roofingly, Ole out, Moyes back in. Would you take Moyes back at Manchester United? Please let me know. And Ole says he wants to play the United way, yet plays 2 CDMs with this counter-attacking tactics, same as Jose Mourinho. And that is a very, very solid point there. Look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm sure maybe if you got a CDM and we had ambitious owners like Abramovich, I'm sure Ole would play the United way. When Ole was interim manager, when he played the United way, when he played a 4-3-3 with Matic, Herrera, Pogba. When we came back post-lockdown and we played Matic, Pogba, Bruno as a midfield 3, we played the United way. Post-lockdown Man United, we played the United way. But all of a sudden, we haven't been playing the United way, and that's because Lindelof and Maguire need to be protected, and we don't have a CDM to do that. Matic can't do what he used to be able to do. So United haven't played the United way for a full season now. And maybe if Ole gets back and Ole gets a CDM, he plays the United way. But playing with Fred, Lindelof and Maguire, not giving players like Donny van der Beek a chance that are exciting, is, I 100% agree, it's not playing the Man United way. Guys, please hit that like button. Let's go for 150 likes before the end of the live stream. And please do subscribe if you are new. Joy Jeep says, wants to save his job if he still fails to win a trophy again with this squad. And Alicia says it could be worse. At least Wenger enjoyed his Liverpool trip yesterday en route to replace Arteta, London-bound banter FC. Now, everybody, please get any questions for me down below in the chat. Yash Gami says, one DM who is good enough is fine for them in front of Shaw, Maguire, Varane, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We just need one CDM, or at least a midfielder that can do a good job on the pivot, because Fred and McTominay are not convincing in the season. I don't think we can win anything with Fred and McTominay in the pivot. So even if we, let's say we don't sign an out-and-out CDM and a Declan Rice, there's Ruben Neves. There's a lot of players out there that I think Man United should 100% be going for, and I think it's worrying that we're not. Yash says, no, it's probably because Ole sees Donny as a pure 8 and 10, and we have Pogba and Bruno. Adjustment period. Donny can be playing the pivot fine. McTominay and Donny will, but Donny van der Beek can play in the pivot for Manchester United. We just haven't really, he hasn't been given the chance, and that's frustrating. If Ronaldo joins City, I will be sick. We will be talking about Manchester City not getting Kane. Are Manchester City going to be getting Ronaldo in a second? We're also going to be talking about the Camavinga secret bid news as well, so do stay tuned for that. But yeah, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share the stream. Yeah, Matic is inconsistent and Fred alone is not good enough. Now, I am just going to read out a little bit of news, and then I am going to address a few live chats. But I just wanted to rant at the start of the video about the ball. I think if we don't sign a CDM, you can't give this transfer window more than a 6 out of 10, despite signing Sancho and Varane being very, very good signings. You know, we haven't addressed the marquee position, which is a CDM. We're going into this season with McTominay and Fred in the midfield, and I can name at least 8 Premier League teams that have better players that can play in the pivot. You know, the top 6 teams, Leicester. I mean, I'd take McGinn off Villa. I would take Douglas Luiz off Villa. You know, Everton have got better midfielders than us. You know, Leeds, probably you could say Calvin Phillips walks into our midfield, and I don't really rate Calvin Phillips. Basuma walks into our midfield. Neves walks into our midfield. You know, we've got 6 days left of the transfer window. We've got 6 days to go sign a midfield. And I say, United, you have the money. The Glazers don't want to spend it. You can sell Jesse Lingard. West Ham are interested. Sell Lingard, sign a midfielder. I don't even think you need to sell Lingard to sign a midfielder, but we do need to get rid of the deadwood. So what has been coming in today? So now Rob Dawson from ESPN, a tier 2 journalist, said that PSG agreed to let Mbappe leave. They could look to make an offer for Paul Pogba. So there is a chance that Paul Pogba could leave. Let's say if something happens with Mbappe, which, you know, look, I don't think Paul Pogba's going to go. I think there's a lot of stories about Paul Pogba going, but it was pretty much been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that it's very, very unlikely that Paul Pogba does go and leave Manchester United, by the way, guys. So I wouldn't worry too much about if – I think the realistic situation is, guys, I think if, let's say, Paul Pogba leaves – sorry, if Mbappe leaves PSG and PSG all of a sudden have this money to buy Paul Pogba, I just think we're more likely going to lose out on Camavinga because PSG are in for Camavinga as well as Paul Pogba. And I think the serious situation is – it's not really a matter of PSG sell Mbappe, Pogba leaves, and this story that Pogba could leave if PSG get the money and they'll put Pogba. I think it's a story of we could lose Camavinga, and Camavinga is the only midfielder that we're currently, you know, we've been in talks for Saul, we've been looking at Neves, but Camavinga is the only midfielder that we've actually made an effort to try and get. Now Kane says, Alice, did you see the rumours about Harry Kane and Man City are rumoured to be closing in on Ronaldo after accepting defeat with Harry Kane? I will be talking about that in just a second, by the way, guys. And Yash says, if Oli can get someone in and keep a win streak till December, we will be okay. Otherwise, we are fucked and we have to win a Europa trophy, says Yash. And Steve says, do you think Man United will bring any more players in before September? And that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Do you guys believe? I want to hear your guys' thoughts and stuff. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinion. Do you guys sit here and believe that Man United are going to sign anyone? Do you sit here and generally believe that we are going to sign anyone before September? Or are you like me, where you are a little bit fearful that it's just going to be new season, same story? Because as a Manchester United fan, I feel like every season we've always been that one signing away from actually completing a decent transfer window. And I feel like we're going to have that this summer. 2 seasons ago, we were going to get Bruno Fernandes. We decided not to spend that extra money, and we had to go get him in January. You know, last season, we didn't get any of our main targets, and we panic brought a load of players on the deadline week to make up for not getting Sancho. So we got last summer's marquee signing this summer. We've got 2 summers marquee signing 2 Januaries ago. We're in a situation where, are we going to be going into January going, fuck, we need a CDM, and we're going to end up buying a CDM in January? Is this what we're going to see from Manchester United yet again? Is it going to be another summer at Manchester United where we don't get that marquee signing? You know, 2 summers ago we didn't get Bruno. Last summer we didn't get Sancho. Because it doesn't take an idiot to say that Man United needed a CDM more than they needed Sancho. I think we did need Varane and we did need a centre-back and a CDM. But, you know, we needed a CDM more than anyone else. We needed a CDM last summer. We didn't get it. We needed a CDM the summer before when we lost Herrera and Fellaini. We didn't get it. You know, Matic cannot do what Matic used to be able to do. And I sit here as a Manchester United fan, and I do go that this board is a disgrace that we haven't sold anyone. You know, you brought 2 players very, very early on. You know, we signed Varane technically, although Varane was only announced a week and a half ago, we did sign Varane about 6 weeks ago. We signed Sancho about 8 weeks ago. You know, we've been in a situation where we've had a full 6 weeks off the transfer window to actually focus on selling players and buying that midfielder. Because we got Varane and Sancho, despite announcing it late, we did get Varane and Sancho sorted very, very early. That United have had a lot of time to go and sort a deal. And unfortunately, we're sitting here and we haven't sorted any deal. And as a United fan, I'm very, very frustrated with the club. I'm very, very frustrated with how the club has approached this situation as well. I just think, you know, we've had time to sell. We've had time to buy. We couldn't even get a permanent move for Pereira. Pereira has gone out on loan. And I do think that is a disgrace. I think that is a disgrace for Manchester United. I do. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. I am going to be reading out some live chats. If we sell Pogba, we'd sign Neves and Camavinga. I think if we did sell Pogba, we would bring in 2 midfielders. But despite rumours that Pogba could go to PSG, now they're going to get money from Mbappe, and Mbappe could leave. I still don't see Paul Pogba leaving. I've said it time and time again. I think he will stay. I just think Man United are willing to risk losing on a free. Obviously, as you know, that Harry Kane will no longer be going to Manchester City. And Man United's first choice transfer target for next summer is, in fact, Erling Haaland. So Man United are going to try and go all out for Erling Haaland next summer. But if Manchester City don't get Kane and they don't get a striker this summer, they are going to be serious competition in the race for Erling Haaland, because although United are a bigger club than Manchester City have more ambitious owners, more funds, better people in the transfer market. You know, yes, Haaland might be our priority signing next summer, but if Man City don't get Kane this summer and Man City won't get Kane this summer, they're going to be some real serious competitors. And, you know, Haaland's our priority next summer, but I don't think we'd beat City for Haaland. I don't think we'd beat City for Haaland. Having said that, Manchester City have got a lot better owners than Manchester United. They're a much better run club. And could they go in for Ronaldo? If they can't get Kane, they'll be looking at Lewandowski. They'll be looking at Ronaldo. They want a striker this summer. Man City aren't the club to wait around another summer. Man City know they're a striker away, because if they don't sign a striker, the Premier League could be Chelsea's. Man City know that they need a striker. You know, they do. And, you know, Kane is who they want. If they couldn't get Kane, they've been fucked around by Spurs. To be fair to Spurs, you have outplayed City. But Man City aren't stupid. They could be going in for Ronaldo. They could be going in for Lewandowski. They could be going in for, I don't know, some young upcoming striker. But there's not that many big strikers on the market. And if Man City have to wait, you know, if Ronaldo says, no, I'm not coming to you for money, I've got loyalty to Manchester United. If Lewandowski turns them down, then that puts Manchester City well in the race for Kane next summer. And that's when United are well in the race for Haaland next summer. And that's when United are in the right position, because United want Haaland next summer. And United, with Mbappe going to Real Madrid, with Barca financially in the mud, with City getting Kane, with Chelsea getting Lukaku, United were in a very, very strong situation to get Haaland. We're in a very, very strong situation to get Haaland. You know, maybe Juventus, maybe Liverpool, but we were. But if City don't get Kane and Haaland's on the market next summer and City need a striker, that's when we're in a problem. Now, could that be a blessing in disguise if Haaland goes to City? Because you know what? I feel like next summer, even if we don't get a CDM this summer, I feel like next summer, even if we get Haaland, we still probably won't go for a CDM, because we've ignored the CDM position for a good 3 years. And, you know, it is a really frustrating situation at Manchester United, but we just got hope Ronaldo doesn't go to Manchester City. I believe in Ronaldo. I believe that Ronaldo won't go Manchester City, but hopefully he won't. Andrew says that some articles saying Dean and James had offers to leave and we kept them. If Ollie does not want to be rid of these sorts of players, the blame is somewhat on him. And yeah, this is a really big talking point. This is a really big talking point. Okay. Apparently, if Lingard stays, it's because Ollie wants him to stay. Apparently, Ollie wanted Daniel James to stay. Apparently, Daniel James got offer from Leeds and Brighton, and Ollie wanted Daniel James to stay because he was worried about Rashford's injury. So, to be fair, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his first season got rid of a lot of deadwood, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Mata to have a new one-year extension, wanted to keep Daniel James when he could have got 15 million for him, has maybe convinced Lingard to possibly stay when we could have got a good 20, 25 million for Lingard. We could have got money for Dean Henderson, but Ollie wants Dean Henderson. I sit here and go, you know, we have to blame the board before we blame Ollie, but if Arsenal are paying 30 million for Ramsdale, we could easily get 40 million pounds for Dean Henderson, maybe even more. So you're thinking 40 million for Dean Henderson, 25 million for Jesse Lingard, and 15 million for Daniel James. We could have raised 80 million pounds on those three players. And do you know what 80 million pounds gets you? In Ndidi, Rice. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seriously would rather keep Daniel James, Lingard, and Dean Henderson at the club, who will all not be first-team starters, Henderson maybe if De Gea is poor, but Daniel James is never going to be a first-team starter, and Lingard, we've got Bruno, over selling those players and signing Ndidi, then you have to go, well, why would Ollie be greedy? Why does Ollie want to keep Mata, James, Lingard, Henderson? Because for me, I would be selling Dean Henderson, Lingard, Mata, and James in a heartbeat and trading them for Ndidi or Rice, because realistically, we're not going to use those four players, maybe just for a bit of rotation in a Carabao Cup game next season, maybe Henderson at most if De Gea is poor and he has a Henderson preference. So I do sit the situation, I do look and I go, I'm very, very disappointed on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I think 80 million could have signed you a CDM. However, saying that, you can't blame Ollie for that. The board have to sell these players. The board couldn't even get 10 million for Pereira. He's gone out on loan to Flamengo. The board still can't sell Phil Jones. The board can't get 20 million for Jesse Lingard, yet Arsenal can get 25 million for Willock, and West Ham will pay 30 million on Zouma, but won't even spend near 25, 30 million on Jesse Lingard. I think it does reflect on the Manchester United board. It does reflect on the Manchester United owners that we can't sell these players, because we've had a whole transfer window. Who's left? Tell me who's left, guys. Pereira on loan. Okay, Brandon Williams loan deal good. Tuanzebe loan deal good. Some good loan deals. But Pereira should be gone. Jones should be gone. Lingard should be gone. And I think Daniel James, Mata, and Lee Grant all should have gone too, because I don't think they're really going to offer us much going into next season. And I think that is the frustrating situation at Manchester United, that we are absolutely run by clowns. Sadiq says that Ollie may not even play Camavinga. He may default to playing Midfield in our midfield. He's very stubborn Man United manager. Look, I do like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think I do like Ollie, but as a manager, he is very, very stubborn. He does not want to change things up. And I go, okay, so if Man United are going to sign a player, it's probably going to be Camavinga. The problem is, if PSG accept that bid for Mbappe, which they haven't yet, but if PSG accept that bid for Mbappe, and Man United won't sell Pogba to them, PSG will get Camavinga. Okay, so we won't get Camavinga, possibly, depending on PSG. It's a race between United and PSG for Camavinga. United are still in contact for Camavinga and actually are working on the Camavinga deal right now, despite you saying that we can't afford to sign him on, because Camavinga is a dream signing, it's cheap. But Man United could bring in Camavinga, and I like Camavinga, and I think he's a great signing, but he's one for the future. He will be an Amad Diallo. He will be a Donny van de Beek, even though Donny van de Beek should be starting. You don't know, like, if we sign Camavinga, great, we sign a midfielder, but we don't know if Camavinga's going to kick McTominay and Fred out of the team. Now, personally, myself, I'd be starting Camavinga and Paul Pogba in a pivot. I would do that any day of the week. But I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to do that. The fact that Donny van de Beek, who has had chances in the pivot and played well, can't get a start in the pivot over McTominay and Fred, who have been shit for a long time and have very poor performances for Manchester United on a constant basis, makes me go, why go for Camavinga if we're not going to play him? Why don't we actually start focusing on someone like Ruben Neves that would ideally start for Man United? He's Premier League proven. He walks into our team. And we're in a situation where, as Fabrizio Romano confirmed yesterday, our first choice midfielder is Camavinga. We are working on the Camavinga deal just behind the scenes. Despite news coming out from English journalists and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that it's unlikely that Manchester United will sign any more players because we need to sell to buy, we are still working on Camavinga behind the scenes. And I do think a lot of this talk that we're not going to sign any more players could be a tactic to see if Rennes will lower their Camavinga price. Because Rennes are in a situation where they don't have much power over Camavinga. He's only got 1 year left on his deal, where United could leak stories to the press and go out to the press saying they're not signing anyone else. Rennes panic going, shit, we don't want to lose Camavinga on a free. We'll lower his price from 30 to 20 million pounds just so we can get some money for him from Manchester United. Rennes are in that position where maybe if United do say we can't buy anyone, we have to sell to buy, because it's not Romano saying that we're not going to sign anyone else. It's the English journalist. It's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying it's unlikely we're going to sign anyone else. So maybe it's a tactic to try and get Camavinga to lower his price. And Rennes to lower Camavinga's price. We know Camavinga is the first choice priority in the transfer market. We know United are going to go up for Camavinga, but we just have to wait and see where that goes. We really do have to wait and see where that goes as a United fan. And I think we're in a situation where Camavinga we're working on right now. There are secret talks. There could be a big going in and all of that. But Neves, probably the player that we should be getting right now. That's not going to happen unless we sell Lingard or Donny van de Beek. And we don't know if we're going to sell Lingard yet. I think that we will sell Lingard. I think he will be a Chris Smalling. But I think we'll sell Lingard on deadline day, that we don't actually have enough time to get a midfielder. And maybe the board have done that on purpose. Maybe the board go, oh, we just don't sell anyone until deadline day, then that's our excuse for not signing anyone else. Maybe the board want to sell players, but they don't actually want to buy anyone. Maybe it's the board, because you know what? We are run by clowns. Man United, we have joke owners, but again, all I can sit here and say is 15 million for Dan James, 25 million for Jesse Lingard. If we were not cowards, if we sold them, that's 40 million. Neves is 35 million. You're telling me who here would rather have Daniel James and Lingard at the club than Ruben Neves? If you generally would rather keep Daniel James and Lingard at the club, let me know in the live chat, because you could have sold those two and brought in Ruben Neves. I mean, you could have sold Dean Henderson on top of those two for an extra 40 million pounds and brought in an Ndidi or Rice, who we really need. But that's the situation with United, and I think it's frustrating that we can't even sell players. Are you doing a live watch on for the Champions League draw tomorrow? I should be live tomorrow night, guys, for the Champions League draw and reaction, and we'll be doing a Champions League prediction live stream tomorrow. I'm 90% sure I will be live tomorrow, so do subscribe for that. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video with your friends, and all of that stuff. Every like, every subscribe, every share, it does mean enough. We've got loads to talk about in today's video. We're having a bit of a rant about Manchester United. I want to get some of you guys' opinions, and we wanted to talk about Neves and Saul. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed today that both Manchester United and Chelsea have gone in for Neves and, sorry, not Neves and Saul, sorry, both Manchester United and Chelsea have gone in for Saul Niguez. However, Chelsea are leading the race for Saul Niguez. Pep Guardiola said he must take a break after 7 years. I need to stop and see and learn from other coaches and maybe take a path to into a national team. So Pep Guardiola's leaving City in a year then, which is interesting as well. Which is interesting news. It's just come out that Pep might leave City next year. Marcus Rashford has in fact returned to training as well, which is good news. He could be back earlier. And look, I know Paul Pogba's doing a really, really good job on the left, and it's like, you know, Pogba doesn't deserve to be dropped from the left. But I'm in a situation where if Marcus Rashford comes back, Ollie's going to want to play him. And Marcus Rashford's best position on the left. And I'm at the situation where Ollie's not going to play Donny. And although Pogba's doing a good job on the left, I want Rashford to come back. So that means at least Paul Pogba will be playing in the middle. So we will not be staying with Fred or Matic and Fred and all of that. But news has come in that West Ham are still interested in Lingard, by the way. This has come out from Fabrizio Romano today, by the way, guys, which means there's definitely a possibility that Man United might go ahead and sign someone. Ramita says one of the most big clubs are using around 100 million, only cannot sign a midfielder for around 35 million or yes. I think that's a situation that is worrying, that, you know, Lingard and all these players that we've been linked to, sorry, not Lingard, Neves, 35 million, Camavinga, 25 million, Saul Niguez, a loan deal, so technically no money if you really think about it. And Man United, for some reason, can't afford these players when we can. You know, Real Madrid are completely broke, but Real Madrid can somehow afford these players and Manchester United can't. But the situation is we need to sell to buy. And despite news coming out saying it's unlikely that Manchester United are going to buy anyone, this here on my screen, I'm just showing you here, is Fabrizio Romano saying that West Ham are still keen on Jesse Lingard, still no agreement between clubs, but we will see what happens in the last few days of the transfer window. So you know what, if Lingard goes, surely we're going to buy someone, and we are working on the Camavinga deal behind the scenes. Despite Man United saying that signings are unlikely, we are still working on Camavinga. Maybe we're confident that Camavinga is going to go to PSG, but we are still working on Camavinga. Southampton have a better midfield than Scott and Fred, and you know what? I agree with that. James Ward-Prowse would probably get right into our starting 11. Yash says if it was me, I would have sold Dean to Spurs or Arsenal for 40, 45 million pounds. But he could have got, you know, we don't need Dean, Henderson and De Gea. You know, we've got Tom Heaton and he's a decent backup keeper. A backup keeper's there for your cup games. We needed to sell one of Dean Henderson or one of David De Gea. We should have sold one of Dean Henderson or one of David De Gea, but Manchester United didn't. And I sit here as a Manchester United fan, and I do go, if Arsenal were paying 30 million for Ramsdale, surely we could have got 40, 50 million for Dean Henderson. And 40, 50 million would easily cover that CDM slot. And I do sit here as a slightly concerned Manchester United fan going, why didn't we just do that? Like, why don't we just go ahead and do that? It does worry me as a United fan. Like, why don't we just do that? But you never know. Yash says that Man City, Chelsea, PSG, Liverpool, Bayern, Leipzig, Dortmund, Atlanta, Inter, AC Milan, I want to avoid in the Champions League. We will be talking about Champions League tomorrow. Champions League draw is tomorrow. And Ben Russell says West Ham have 45 million to spend on the centre-back and a midfielder. Whether they can afford Lingard depends on how much the Zouma deal is worth, which is a good point. But surely West Ham would rather spend more money on Lingard than Zouma, considering that Lingard came in and actually was one of their best players, if not their best player, in the period that Lingard got in. Sure, Lingard proved himself at West Ham. You know, Zouma's a decent centre-back, but he's nothing special. He's nothing special, you know. He was all right at Everton, but he's not world-class, you know. You think that Lingard, I know that Zouma's got more time left on his contract and, you know, he's younger, but I think surely if you can pay 25 million for Zouma, you'd be paying 25 million for Lingard and all of that. Reason why no one wants to buy any United players is we pay daft wages, which is a solid point. Dino for 50 million quid. I think you probably could have got 50 million for Dean Henderson. And, you know, that I do look at the situation and I go, maybe we should have told Dino. The fact that we still have 2 goalkeepers at the club, I think we plan to sell a keeper. I think we really want, because why did we give Lee Grant a new deal and sign Tom Heaton? You only need 3 keepers at the club. So when we gave Lee Grant a deal, I was like, cool, that's either Henderson, Heaton, Grant, or De Gea, Heaton, Grant. We're going to go into next season with Henderson and De Gea, both keepers. And the reason we're going into next season with both keepers is because we're not selling anyone. We're not, you know, we haven't sold one. And I think the fact that we gave Lee Grant a new 1-year extension, and United probably plan to sell Dean Henderson or David De Gea because we signed Heaton and we gave Grant a new deal. So I guarantee that United did probably want to and try to sell one of those players, but we didn't because we're a failure. The fact that we couldn't sell Pereira, the fact that we can't sell Jones, the fact that we got 2 keepers going into next season when we knew last season that was a mistake, just hints more and more that United failed to sell players. We are run by clowns. As the title says, we are run by clowns. We signed Donny for 40 million, Palestri was 6 million, and Ahmad for 39 million. Jesse possible 20 million, James possible 15. Yeah. Look at the prices we sign and sell players for as well, guys. You know, I think that's embarrassing. If you look at how much we sign and sell players for, I think that is really, really embarrassing from Manchester United. The fact that we can spend all this money on these players, but we can't get any money for those players. Tic tac, Mbappe signed Madrid. I think Mbappe will. Have we got an Mbappe to Madrid? Here we go, guys. Have we got an Mbappe to Madrid? Here we go. Let me have a look at my Twitter. People saying Mbappe to Madrid. Here we go. Has Romano tweeted? Am I being trolled? I can't see a Romano tweet. I can't see a Romano tweet on my feed, by the way, guys. We know Kane ain't moving, but someone's saying that Mbappe to Real Madrid. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. I'm kind of interested now. What has Romano tweeted? No, not yet. We haven't had a here we go yet, by the way, guys. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Let me go back to the full screen. Guys. Back to some news, back to some transfer news, back to some comments. Please get any comments, questions for me down below. Yash says, West Ham make Europe again for me. Rice pocketed and Didi. And Antonio's looking dangerous. West Ham are looking very, very good at the moment. West Ham are looking very, very good. Very, very dangerous. I would keep an eye out on West Ham this season. You know what? I think once they get more games, though, and they are in Europe, their lack of depth could cause them problems. And I think that's why they need a Lingard, so they can arrest the Benrahma and rest the Bowen. And I think, this is the start of the season. I think once the games get going, West Ham will drop off. But I have to say, West Ham do look very, very good at the moment. A lot of people think they're not going to do as well this season, but we will have to wait and see. Is my internet quality all right? Because I've just got the big Wi-Fi symbol come up. So am I lagging, by the way, guys? And just let me know in the live chat if there's any lag. Shane Heffron says, we won't sign anyone else. We have a huge problem for selling players for years now. I worry for this season having to rely on average McFred and old Matic in the CDM position. It is worrying. It is worrying if we don't sign a CDM. And I think every day that goes on, it's looking less and less likely that we're going to sign a midfielder. The news will be positive. As soon as some positive news comes out, like Man United are in talks for SOLSKJAER, Man United have made a bid for Camavinga, negative news comes out saying we're not going to sign anyone. And as a United fan, I sit here, and the reason I think it's so frustrating that we haven't signed a CDM, yes, we signed Sancho, yes, we signed Varane, yes, we've made two very, very good signings, is because we haven't sold one of our goalkeepers. We haven't sold Daniel James. We haven't got rid of Mata. We haven't got rid of a lot of deadwood players. And if we had got rid of those deadwood players, we could have easily brought in a CDM. I even think without selling players, we could afford a CDM, because if Real Madrid are as financially bad as they say they are, but they can spend 150 million on Kylian Mbappe, surely we can spend 35 million on Ruben Neves when we are financially better off than Real Madrid right now. Manchester City were willing to spend 150 million on Harry Kane and 100 million on Jack Grealish, spend 250 million pounds. Chelsea have spent 100 million on Lukaku. They're going over 100 million on Lukaku. They're going to buy Jules Koundé, and they're probably going to get Saul as well, on top of winning the Champions League and spending nearly 300 million last season. Now, Chelsea and Manchester City have completely different owners to us, so it is hard to compare them. But I think the whole Manchester United can't afford to buy anyone, I think, is a lie from the Glazers. It's a Glazers excuse, because the Glazers don't want to spend any money. Every season, I've said it time and time again. 2 summers ago, we didn't get Bruno or that Cam because we didn't want to spend that extra money. We had to go get him in January, otherwise we were screwed. Last summer, we didn't get Sancho because we didn't want to pay that money. So we panicked, brought some deadwood, players that we're loaning out, players that haven't really worked out other than Cavani, which was a panic buy, and then we get Sancho the following summer. But because we get Sancho the following summer, we can't work on the marquee position this summer because we wasted all our money this summer on last summer's transfer target, that now we could be going into next summer not getting a CDM. If we don't sign a centre mid, I will kick the Glazers' ass. I think there will be some Glazers protests if we don't sign one. And are you going to have time to buy a midfielder if we sell Lingard? That's the situation. Time is running out. Time is running out. I know we're in talks with SOLSKJAER. I know we're in talks with Camavinga. I know we have spoken to Ruben Neves' representatives. But Manchester United take a while to do deals. It takes us so long to get deals over the line that even though last time we managed to get 3 or 4 deals off on deadline day when we really put our heart to it, we're in a situation now that if we don't start focusing on deals and we don't get a player out, we might sell Lingard and actually go, you know what, we didn't have enough time to buy anyone. And whose fault would that be? That would be completely the Glazers' fault. That would be completely the Glazers' fault. And I think that would be a really, really unfortunate situation to get him. Now, I'd be really, really disappointed if that was the situation that we ended up finding ourselves in. Guys, by the way, please hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe down below. Every like, subscribe, and share means a lot. We've got 6 days left of the transfer window. And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any of the news this window. We've got lots to cover in the next 6 days. You know, it looks like Lingard could go, and if we sell a player, it looks like we will sign a player. We are still in talks for Camavinga. We have made contact with Saul and Glazer's representatives. We still are keeping an eye on Neves. Although it looks quiet and it's a depressing situation right now that we can't seem to sell anyone, and it doesn't look like we're going to buy anyone. There's 6 days left. We did make a few panic buys when pressure came on the Glazers at the end of last summer. I think there's still lots to come in this transfer window. So do make sure to subscribe. We're going to go right to the finale of the transfer window, daily transfer news live streams, right to the end of the transfer window. So do make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed, by the way. The board is incompetent, I agree. People say, is Mbappe too Madrid? Here we go, am I being trolled? If they knew they couldn't sell Dean, then why bring Grant back? Do you have 4 goalkeepers sold? One just baffling. We shouldn't have. We only need 3 goalkeepers, not 4. I don't know why we're giving Grant that 1-year extension. I think we expected that De Gea and Henderson would go. We only sold Smalling in the last 2 years for money. Yeah, exactly, but we could sell Lingard for money. And Sergio says the players Ollie seems to go for are well-beating expensive signings. James was the only exception, but he likes to keep some kind of team spirit by not selling any old dressing room players. You make a good point. Why was Ollie there when we gave Phil Jones a new 3-year deal? Why are we refusing to sell Daniel James when he's not good enough? Why won't we let go of Mata, let go of Grant? Does Ollie think that these players really make an impact in the dressing room? Is that the reason behind it? Surely not. I think if that's the reason behind it, it would be a little bit of a frustrating, disappointing situation to find yourself in. Ben Russell says, I'm more annoyed at Ollie to wanting to keep Martial worth 50 million than wanting to keep Dan James. No, I 100% understand why Ollie kept Martial, because Martial has proven he's good enough to play for Manchester United. Yes, he doesn't look great. Yes, he's not match sharp. But with Martial, you've got a player that can play striker, because Cavani can't play week in, week out of his fitness record. And we don't know if Greenwood's going to complete striker yet. And he can play on the left because of Rashford's injury. I think Daniel James, Martial offers more than Daniel James. So Daniel James has looked better than in the last year, and he works harder, and he's not as lazy. Daniel James is not Man United quality. Martial can be Man United quality. Not at the moment, not in his last few games, but I personally disagree. Been a good live stream. Yeah, thanks everyone who is involved in the live stream. I said a few live streams ago, I predict that Lingard possibly to West Ham could drag on to the last day of the transfer deadline. Also the DM in my opinion. I think we're going to go right down to the transfer deadline day. I think we're going to go right down to transfer deadline day. There will be a couple live streams on transfer deadline day to update you guys, by the way, but I think we could go right all the way down to transfer deadline day, which is a frustrating situation, but it's United. It's United. Guys, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's go for 150 likes before the end of the live stream. We've got over 80 people watching, so if everybody watching could keep hitting that like button, it would be very much appreciated. Yash said that West Ham need a centre-back and a proper midfielder who can dictate the play to get 5th in the league. Seriously good team. I agree. Hopefully they will go for Jesse Lingard. No chance City winning the league now. I think Chelsea are probably favourites to win the league. I think City are City. City will go and get another player out. But I think Chelsea are favourites to win the league. Chelsea-Liverpool is going to be a big test for Chelsea. Chelsea-Liverpool, I think, is going to be the game of the weekend. It's going to be really, really exciting to see how that game pans out. And Andrew77 says, of course we can spend the money regardless of sales. We are one of the richest clubs in the sport revenue-wise. The restrictions on our board are just propaganda. I completely agree. And we've done, even want to play Donny. So if we sign a CDM, he won't play. Ollie has his favourites. Are we in a situation? The thing is, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, I do sit here and go, I'd rather us not sign anyone than sign another player that's going to get the Donny van de Beek treatment. I'm happy we signed Donny because I believe that Donny is better than Fred and McTominay, and I think you guys believe that too. But if Ollie's just going to sign a player and waste 30-40 million of the transfer budget for them to sit on the bench and not buy them, I'd rather we not sell them. I've said this time and time again. I'd rather United sign no one than sign our third fourth choice player in a position. I'd rather us, sign someone we're going to use than sign someone we're not going to use. Having said that, our midfield is so bad that surely there's a lot of midfielders should be starting for our team ahead of McTominay and Fred. And with Camavinga, because of his age, with Ollie's reluctancy to maybe trust Camavinga, with Camavinga, he's probably not going to play. But Saul Niguez and Ruben Neves should be walking into that team ahead of Fred and McTominay. And if we sign Saul Niguez, or if we can get Ruben Neves in the last couple of days of the transfer window, I expect them to start. If we seriously in a couple of weeks' time are still starting Lindelof over Varane, and if we sign Ruben Neves and we still go with Fred instead of Donny and Neves in the midfield, that's when you actually, as much as I say turn on the board, that's when you've actually got to start turning on Ollie. If the board get Ollie a CDM and Ollie continues to play McFred, that's when you've got to beat Ollie out. we've got to be Glazers out forever. We're never going to be what City and Chelsea are. We're never going to be the team we want to be with the Glazers in. But I think if we're in a situation where we do sign a CDM and we see the same old Fred and we see Donny not get a chance and we see Lindelof playing over Varane, I think that's when you could be in a situation where you can be Ollie out. Now, I think the Southampton performance was poor. I blame Ollie for the loss. I think if Ollie had played Donny over Fred, we would have won that game. I think Ollie's management of that game was poor. But I'm not going to be Ollie out until the transfer window is over and he's had a good 7, 8, 9 games to see how we're doing in the season. If we're at Christmas time, we know we're not going to win that, and we're nowhere near winning the league at Christmas time. It's obvious that we're going to be in the top 4 race at Christmas time. We're playing the same negative football. It's still McFred, the same players playing rubbish, getting chances after chance after chance. Ollie with the late subs, not looking like we're going to go anywhere. I will be Ollie out. I will be Ollie out despite who we sign, and that's what I want to see. I want to see progress from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Shane says we might be in for a CDM in January, but this season will be half over by then. We need to sell Lingard for 25 million, James for 50 million, and buy either Basuma or Neves for 35 million. Can't sell at all. It's worrying. I 100% agree with this comment from Shane. This is a situation where Man United is. I wouldn't be shocked if Man United went ahead in January and signed a CDM. I would not be shocked if we went and signed a CDM in January. Okay, I wouldn't, because we could be finding ourselves at Christmas time in 5th, 6th place, and the board will panic. If we're not going to get top 4, the board will panic, because the board don't care about winning titles or winning trophies. The board care about top 4, that Champions League revenue. And the board could be sitting there going, okay, Ollie, you know what? We're fucked right now, aren't we? We need you to get top 4. You know what? We do actually have the money for Neves. You can go get him. That is a situation. We did that with Bruno 2 seasons ago, where 2 years ago we were sitting here right at the end of the transfer window and we just said we need a cam, we need a playmaker. And we started the season with Lingard and Pereira as our cam, and it was so obvious from day 1 of the season that we needed a cam. And we went all the way to Christmas playing the same negative football, crying out for a cam for the board to get Bruno. And I feel like we're going to be in this exact same situation where we're playing the same shit football and it's letting us down, and we get to January and they're like, okay, we really do need a CDM. Because we did that when we needed a cam 2 seasons ago, we got Bruno. I could generally see us not signing anyone and panicking in January because things don't look good. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we sign someone. I hope we have a good season. I hope we challenge for a title. I hope we get to a Champions League final. I hope we win trophies. I hope we have a good season. But if I'm being realistic with McTominay and Fred, I can't see Manchester United having a big, brilliant season. A really chance. Harry Kane, Tottenham can go out of Europa Conference League tomorrow. That's 1 trophy for Kane already gone. Look, I hope that Kane say that Tottenham actually win the Conference League and Kane wins a trophy, because I think a player of his stature deserves to win a trophy, but it would be banterable. It would absolutely be banterable. It would be it would work for both parties if United cash in now on Lingard rather than letting it drag until the transfer deadline day. For me, they need cash in now on a fringe player who won't get game time. Exactly. And the thing about Lingard is he's not going to get game time with Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Rashford, Sancho. You know, Lingard can play on the wing. Lingard can play as a 10. Where are we strongest? As a number 10 role and on the wing. Lingard won't get game time at Manchester United. And I do sit here and go, why are we keeping Lingard around when we know that he's not going to be a week in, week out starter? I'd understand if Man United didn't want to sell Paul Pogba or Bruno Fernandes or Marcus Rashford. Or, you know what I mean? They're week in, week out starters. I understand if people want to sell Luke Shaw. But I can't understand why we are not pushing for Jesse Lingard to go when it's pretty obvious that when are we going to use Jesse Lingard next season? You know, even if there's a big injury to someone like Bruno Fernandes, I still can't see us using Jesse Lingard that much. I think if Bruno gets injured, we give Jesse Lingard a chance, but he didn't do well in that 10 role for Manchester United. You know, Donny would probably do a better job. Pogba would probably do a better job. Remember, you can loan until September, I think. Can you? I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm just going to take a quick swig of water, but any questions for me, please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read and reply to as many questions as possible in the live chat, so please do get them down below. Maybe the Glazers will let us banter SC after 5 years, I'm afraid. We can't go another season without winning a title, winning a trophy. I mean, without winning a title as well. We're coming up to nearly 10 years without a title. I think that's a disgrace as a United fan, but we surely have to win a trophy this season. Like, for me, we have to. To be fair, Donny seems to back up to Bruno, hence he doesn't get game time. But Donny was never a 10. Donny played as an 8 and a 6 for Ajax. You know, Donny never even really played as a 10 for Ajax. And I don't get, is he a Bruno pack up or not? Ben Russell says, to be fair, Cavani looked like a panic buy on deadline day, but it paid off. Cavani was a panic buy. That did pay off. Andrew says, DM in January is the same thing we did, not signing Bruno in the summer. And when we neglected the centre-back when we were top of the league last winter, too late, exactly. Exactly. 100% agree with Andrew here. Stephen says United is not seriously in signing good talent. Same thing happened in signing Bruno. And Steve says Arsenal have been getting dominated by West Brom. Kids making sloppy mistakes. Hope West Brom win. Imagine if Arsenal lose to West Brom. Like they've lost to Brentford. They've lost to Chelsea. They've got Man City next. So unless Arteta pulls off a masterclass, I hope Arsenal beats Man City. I really do. But I would never put any money on Arsenal getting a result versus Manchester City. Mate, you know what? I'm just glad I don't support Arsenal. United aren't great at the moment, but imagine supporting Arsenal. Steve says, how much longer does Fernandes have in his contract? He's got to go 3-4 years. I think we are focusing on giving Fernandes a good deal. And now Kane says, remember, boys and girls, ladies and gents, keep smashing that like button and try and aim for 150 likes on the live stream. Get all your family, friend, cat and dogs to like this and share the stream. And Kittrick says, all that Haaland talk about next summer just to distract the remaining window. And Himashu, I'm not going to try and say your name, says, we keep thinking Ollie doesn't want to sell Lingard. He could do a Pogba and leave on a free next year. No one talks about that because it's not Pogba. Do you make a good point? You know what? We forget that Lingard has 1 year left in this deal. We don't sign Lingard now. We could lose him on a free, because if Lingard's not going to get game time at Man United, why would he sign a new deal? We're not going to use Lingard this season. We are not. So if Lingard's happy sitting on the bench at Man United, he will sign a new deal. But if I'm Lingard, you just got back in the England squad, I'd be a bit more ambitious than that. I'd be pushing for a move. So you know what, United, you don't want to lose Lingard on free. You want to get money for Lingard. So even from a financial perspective, surely the Glazers should be pushing to sell Lingard, because they won't want to lose 20 million on Lingard. We care about money. Donny is a number 10. This is a debate. Let's have a look at Donny van de Beek stats. Okay, Donny van de Beek stats. People say that Donny is a number 10, but he played all over the park for Ajax. I'm going to get up Donny van de Beek stats on my screen, guys. I'm going to get up Donny's stats on my screen. Guys, please hit that like button. Let's go for 150 likes before the end of the stream. So please do hit that like button. So this is Donny's stats this season. As you can see, Donny's stats this season are absolutely non-existent because Donny's played fuck all. Is Donny a number 10, or can he play on a pivot? Let's look at Donny's stats last season. So Donny last season for Manchester United, he only played 1,400 minutes. He played 14 games as a centre mid, 13 games as attacking midfielder, 1 game as a DM, left to right. But he was subbed on in all those games. Let's actually look at Donny's overall career balance, guys. Okay, in Donny's career, he's played a majority of games as a box-to-box midfielder, 156. Donny's also played 27 games as a CDM and 94 games as an attacking midfielder. He's also played as a winger and a left mid, but Donny is a box-to-box midfielder, and he can play as a DM and he can play as an AM, but he's a box-to-box midfielder. So this rumour that Donny has been brought to be Bruno's backup, I don't think is true, because Donny generally is a box-to-box midfielder, and for me, that's how I want to settle that debate there. Repeat again, the same mentality by United Club, and top 4 is the Glazers trophy, dividends is their World Cup. 100% agree with that. And the Premier League Summer 2021 transfer window is open for 12 weeks and will close at 11 p.m. on the 31st of August. Yes, it will close at 11 p.m. on the 31st of August. And it's a very, very worrying position as a Manchester United fan. Will we make any panic buys? Will we sign anyone else? We just have to wait and see what happens. Guys, if you haven't hit that like button, please do subscribe to Alice Talks if you're new, share the video and all of that. Any questions for me, please do get them down below in the live chat. The former Ajax manager himself quoted Donny as more of a number 10 than number 8, so it's fair to assume Ollie maybe thinks the same. Yeah, maybe. But I think when your weakness is Fred in the pivot, why hasn't he even given Donny a chance in the pivot? When that is your clear weakness, why isn't he giving Donny a chance? I'm just taking a quick swig of water and then I will get into some more live chats. By the way, guys, please do hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video. Any questions for me, as I'm going to say time and time again, please do get them down below in the live chat. We've got another 15 minutes of today's live stream, so smash that like button, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep putting any comments or questions you do have in for me down below in the live chat, by the way, guys. Every like, every sub, every share is very much appreciated. So keep making sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below. Share the stream. Yes, says, so in theory, you can get the main details done and finalise the admin stuff after the window closes, provided a fee is reached. I think that is the case as well. I think United can go and sign someone if they want to. If United want to sign a player, they will sign a player. But the question is, do Man United want to sign a player? And you look at Manchester City. Manchester City got 6 days left of the transfer window to rethink what they're going to do. Manchester City probably believed they were going to get Kane, and it's come out today that Man City have been mugged off. They're not going to get Kane. Manchester City are now in a situation where, are they going to wait around and wait a year to get another striker? No. I guarantee you, Man City are going to go ahead and sign a striker, because they want a striker. When Chelsea couldn't get Erling Haaland, instead of fucking about and waiting a year, they went and got Lukaku, the second best option out there after Kane, but Kane was unrealistic. Manchester City are like Chelsea. They run like a good club. If they can't get Kane, they're going to go and get a striker. And with Man City getting a striker, with Chelsea winning the Champions League and strengthening massively, and on top of adding Koundé and probably Saul to their team, if Man United don't get a CDM, they're worrying, because Man United are in a position right now where they can be up there with City and Chelsea if they get a CDM. But if we neglect that CDM position for another year, we won't be up there with City and Chelsea. We will not be in a title race. And, yes, the Glazers want top four. Yes, the Glazers, all they care about is top four. But maybe in January, if we signed a centre-back, we could have won the league. Maybe if we got Bruno Fernandes in two summers ago, we could have maybe challenged. We probably wouldn't have, let's be realistic. But what I'm saying is, if United hadn't neglected one position every summer transfer window, maybe we could challenge. Maybe we could be more up there with City and Liverpool and Chelsea. But we seem to neglect key positions every transfer window. And we're never going to be a Premier League, Champions League winning club if every transfer window we neglect one key position. 2 years ago with Bruno, last summer with Sancho, even 3 summers ago we needed a CDM. We haven't had a good summer in a while, and we're neglecting key positions every summer. But I don't think we're going to win anything unless we stop neglecting key positions. Andrew77 says Donny was mainly in the pivot behind Ziyech for most of his Ajax tenure, with either Sean or De Jong. Complete myth that he's a number 10, exactly. And Daniela Stewart says the big question is, why is Lingard staying when he knows he's not going to get much game time? If he stays at Man United, he can say goodbye to England career. Exactly. Surely if you're Jesse Lingard, you'd be pushing to leave Manchester United, because even if Ollie says to Lingard, oh, I'm going to play you, I'm going to play you, will Lingard believe that? Will Lingard surely sit there and believe that he's going to get game time at Man United? Because I don't think he is. If I'm Lingard and I'm being realistic, I don't think Lingard's going to get game time at Man United. And if I was Jesse Lingard, I'd seriously be sitting there and pushing to leave. For his career, he got back in the England squad. He was a different player at West Ham. Lingard, when he plays for Man United, isn't the same player, because maybe it's the pressure. Maybe he doesn't suit Ollie's system. I think he suits Moyes' system more. If you're Jesse Lingard, surely you should be pushing for that move. Surely you should be pushing for that leave. And I think it's very, very worrying. Ollie wants him to stay. Lingard wants to try prove himself. No effing sell. I really hope that is not the case. I really hope that if Ollie's told Dean Henderson to stay, if Daniel James to stay, Lingard to stay, when he could have sold them and got a CDM, I really hope that's not the case. I really, really hope you're not the case. Do any of you guys think that Man United could compete for the Premier League this season? Let's say we don't sign. Let's say we don't sign a CDM. Do any of you believe we could win the Premier League without signing a CDM? Because personally, myself, I don't believe that we can. I don't believe that we can. We still got time left. Lingard to West Ham still could happen. That means we've got money to get a CDM. But I think unless we sign a CDM, you can rule a title race out for Manchester United, which is a shame, which is sad. But I think that's what you have to do. And, that's the situation we find ourselves in. Fabrizio Romano has given a bit of an update on Kurt Zouma to West Ham. He says all parties involved not competent after 24 hours negotiation. Chelsea is still waiting. So apparently there's a little bit of a fall in West Ham for Zouma. So that could give us a Lingard boost as well, which is news that's just come in right now for Fabrizio Romano. Banter FC are 1-0 up. Who did score for Banter FC, by the way, guys? And please subscribe to Alice Talks Football. Let's get Alice's channel to 17,000 subscribers. Yeah, please subscribe, by the way, if you're not subscribed. And Sergio says, to play CDM, you have to know how every other player in the team plays to affect the game. Matic and Carrot were the only ones who knew how to win there. But does Ollie like Conte and Zidane? I think if you add Pep Guardiola, Conte, Zidane, any other manager in, you'd be seeing Donny and Matic in the pivot, way ahead of McFred. It looks like Kurt Zouma, guys, breaking news just coming in now, it looks like Kurt Zouma to West Ham is off. Like, breaking news that's just coming now, it looks like Kurt Zouma to West Ham is off, meaning that Lingard to West Ham could be more and more likely. This is news that's just come out now, meaning that Lingard to West Ham could be more and more likely. And if we sell Lingard, we could possibly sign a midfielder. So that is quite good news from a Manchester United perspective that's just come on. Andrew says it doesn't take a genius to figure out Bruno isn't getting moved. So the only place to try Van der Beek is behind him in the midfield. So not like we have world beaters in those positions that are keeping Van der Beek out, which is a very, very solid point. And this guy says the issue that lies with Ollie is he thinks certain players are more dependable than Donny, like McFred and Matic. I wonder if Ollie saw the preseason game against Everton shaking my head, the Wolves game, last game of the season, the Leicester game, one of the last games of the season. Donny did a better job against Leicester in the pivot than McFred did. When they played against Leicester in the pivot, we lost 3-1. Maybe if we sign another manager, And yes, as for us, a CDM has to be someone who can pass, defend, pass progressively, press resistant, can break the lines with sharp passes, carry the ball forward, and link defence, midfield, and attack. And I 100% agree with Yash there. Alicia said, I would love Kane to Arsenal. And Fabrizio Romano tweeted that the Zouma deal is in danger, problems not being resolved, which is a boost for Manchester United. And Man U is that one kid who does deserve everything on deadline day. I hope Man United go out on deadline day and sign a CDM, because right now we've just been told Zouma to West Ham probably isn't happening. Breaking news just now, Zouma to West Ham probably won't happen, which means Lingard to West Ham is more and more likely. And we know if Manchester United sell Jesse Lingard, we have a strong chance of getting a CDM in. We know, or a midfielder. We know if we sell Jesse Lingard, we've got a much stronger chance of getting a midfielder in. We are in contact for Saul Niguez. We do want Ruben Neves, but that depends on Jesse Lingard going. And we are in talks with Rennes right now for Camavinga. United currently working on a Camavinga deal. We have been in contact with Saul Niguez, and we do want Ruben Neves. So if we go ahead and sell Jesse Lingard, if West Ham go in for Jesse Lingard because they can't get Zouma, we have a position where we could maybe get Saul Niguez. However, I do think Saul Niguez will go to Chelsea. But we've got Camavinga. Can we beat PSG to Camavinga? Maybe if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, PSG get Camavinga. But if you sell Jesse Lingard, you've got your third choice midfielder, Ruben Neves, there available. And Fabrizio Romano confirmed yesterday, United are targeting Neves, Saul, and Camavinga this window. United are in for Neves, Saul, Camavinga, and we'd like to bring one of those in before the end of the transfer window. However, it does depend on outgoings. And Zouma to West Ham off, Lingard to West Ham looks on. That's a marquee outgoing. A marquee outgoing happens, Neves more likely, Camavinga more likely, Saul Niguez more likely. We know from Romano, despite news coming out that Man United will make no more signings, Romano has confirmed right now we are still in talks. We're in talks with Rennes for Camavinga as we speak now. We are working on a Camavinga deal to see if we can get something happen. It might depend on selling Lingard and just getting a bit of money to do it, but we are. We are working on signing players despite this negative news. And I think if Lingard leaves, there's a strong chance we sign someone. But I think if Lingard doesn't leave, it could be another disappointing window from Manchester United and all of that. Lingard can be a fashion director for Man United, not in the starting 11, says Yash, exactly. And money. This is why we need to sell Lingard. I said it at the beginning of the video. If Arsenal paid 30 million for Ramsdale, why aren't we looking to sell Dean Henderson for 40, 50 million? We don't need two keepers at the club. Why is Daniel James staying around when Brighton and Leeds were willing to give us 15 million for Daniel James? Why can't we get a permanent move for Pereira? Why are we only getting Pereira out on loan? Why can't we sell Lingard when 25 million, West Ham's best player? If United were a serious club with serious owners, Lingard, 25 million would have gone. Daniel James, 15 million would have gone. Dean Henderson, 40 million would have gone. 80 million pounds would have been raised an ounce. 80 million pounds gets you in D.D. Rice. United can make a serious bid. Andrew says, without a DM, we can't truly compete. The midfield is the heart of every squad. No recently successful club has lacked a quality DM, and that's an absolutely solid point there by Andrew. You've also got to remember the one game that Manchester City didn't play a CDM was against Chelsea in the Champions League final. What happened to Manchester City? They looked lackluster, they looked poor, they didn't win. Yes, I believe that every year without believing nothing, and Aubameyang did score. I wonder why we did sign Fred. Can't pass, runs after the ball he lost, shit at shooting. I really think his time is over at the club. I think Fred for £50 million is one of the biggest wastes of money Man United has spent. The fact that Ruben Neves is £35 million, or the fact that United are willing to spend £50 million on Fred, but couldn't spend £35 million on Ruben Neves is worrying as a club. Yes, we've got John Murter, and yes, it's not Ed Woodward and Ed Woodward's team. But you seriously telling me now, yes, we signed Sancho and Varane, that John Murter's done anything better than Woodward? Because I think the window we had where we signed Zlatan and Pogba has been better than this window, because you've got to remember it time and time again, I've said this, Sancho was last summer's signing. Varane's a great signing we've pulled off, but Varane's the only signing we've done. This board still hasn't addressed the marquee position that Man United need to sign, and that is a CDM. This board still hasn't addressed that marquee position. And I don't think this has been a good transfer window. I'm not trying to sound like a spoiled United fan, but Sancho was last summer's signing. This board will spend 50 million on Fred, but is passing up Ruben Neves for 35 million, passing up Saul on loan because they just don't want to spend that extra bit of money. Glazeronomics, guys. That's all I can say. Thank you very much for the super sticker there, Alice. Breathe. I do need to breathe, by the way, guys. Only 21 likes needed for 100 likes, guys. Let's push for 100 likes. If you're watching and you haven't hit that like button, please push for 100 likes, and do make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed to the channel. Have you heard of Andy Tate, who was on full-time Sheffield United? What a fan. I do know who he is. He's a brilliant fan. I remember when PSG came to Manchester, he was like, go on PSG, beat Manchester City. And Sergio says maybe the Glazers got scared by the Taliban taking over Afghanistan. They may see it as an oil passing, money making bid to take over Man United, but the Americans leave the neglect further spending. You know what? And yes, I think your Ollie's target is to win the Premiership and get to UCL final. I think if Ollie got a CDM, I would back Ollie to do well. But I don't think Ollie's going to do well without a CDM. We are 13 likes away from 100 likes, guys. So keep hitting that like button. Let's go for 100 likes, guys. We're going to go for 100 likes before the end of the live stream. So keep smashing that like button, by the way, if you haven't already. Andrew says, Fred and Scott as regular starters is the issue. We have a worse Anderson and worse Fletcher starting for us most often. Those rotational options are at best. And the situation is, yes, we don't have a good enough midfield to challenge for a title. I know that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing Fred, Scott and Matic and neglecting Donny, is a disgrace on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's part. Do I think we have a midfield to win a league? No. But do I think we would get more points if we played Matic and Pogba or Matic and Donny ahead of Fred? Yes. I think if we saw Donny and Pogba in a pivot ahead of Fred or ahead of Matic and Fred, we would get more points. Maybe we still wouldn't win the league because we don't have an out-and-out CDM. But I generally think if Donny van der Beek had played ahead of Fred against Southampton, we would have not lost that game. Because remember, the goal Southampton scored came off bloody Fred as well. Not saying that Fred lost us the game. Fred, it was not Fred's fault that it deflected off him. But what I'm saying is if Donny started ahead of Fred against Southampton, I think it would have been a completely different game. I think we would have played better, and I think we would have won that game. I really do. I really, really do. And I think even if we don't sign a CDM and Ollie has to work with what he's got, he cannot go. Even if he doesn't sign a CDM, he doesn't get back. He cannot go into next season thinking that Matic and Fred work better than Matic and Donny, because we've all seen Matic and Donny in pre-season. We all saw Matic and Donny last game of the season versus Wolves. We've seen Matic and Donny play a few times. They played really well. And the one thing about Donny van der Beek is him and Bruno work really well together. When Donny and Bruno are on the pitch together, Manchester United average a goal every 40 minutes when Donny and Bruno are on the same pitch together because they link up well. Donny allows us to play a better brand of football. And I think with Rafael Varane coming in as a centre-back ahead of Lindelof, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't need to play McFred. I think Ole plays McFred to protect Maguire and Lindelof. I've said this time and time again. If Varane comes in over Lindelof, surely Ole has less need to play McFred because surely Varane is protection. Varane is, surely McFred is Lindelof and Maguire protection. Varane doesn't need the protection that Lindelof has. So surely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could go with less defensive options in midfield and go, you know what, I'm going to play Donny over McTominay. I don't need to be as defensive now. I've got Varane in the back. And I think even if we don't sign a CDM, even if we don't make that Neves signing, that Camavinga signing, that Saul Niguez signing, I think with Varane, if Varane plays centre-back and we still play McFred and leaving Donny on the bench after Donny bulking up, having a good pre-season and McFred being shit, then that is on Ollie. We can be bored out, we can be Glazers out, we should always be bored and Glazers out till I die. But if Ollie doesn't get backed and he still continues his same ways, then you have to sort of turn on Ollie as well. But yeah, keep hitting that like button. Let's go for 100 likes. Make sure you are subscribed back down below to Alice Talks Football, by the way. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing this video and all of that. Hit that like button, subscribe down below, share. We are on the road to 17,000 subscribers. So if you are watching and you seriously are not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, it would be much appreciated if you could subscribe to the channel. Before this window, Ollie was told he'd be given 150 million, but combining Varane and Sancho only amounts to 150 million. Where's the rest of the money? Poor Glazers. Yeah, this is a really, really good point because 35 million is Ruben Neves. So if we spend 35 million, we spent 150 million. So surely when you think about it, if we've got 150 million budget, we can afford 35 million on Ruben Neves. Surely when you think about it, we can afford Ruben Neves for 35 million because, we have 150 million budget. You make a solid point here. What's going on, Ollie? What's going on, board? What's going on, Glazers? Surely we can afford Ruben Neves then, because we got told at the start of the window that we had 150 million budget. We spent 150 million on that. There was last season's target. So you're telling me that Man United seriously have to sell to buy CDM? I bet we can afford Ruben Neves right now. I'll put money on that we could afford Ruben Neves right now if the Glazers really want them. But the situation with the Glazers, the situation with the people that own Manchester United is they don't care about the club. They don't want to spend the money. And that is the situation we find ourselves in. And that is exactly why we haven't gone ahead and bought Ruben Neves. And that is a very, very frustrating situation at Manchester United. We could have easily got a good CDM this window. I 100% agree. And your Bruno was clearly fouled leading to the Southampton game. The ref was inconsistent. It was a foul on Bruno. Was it a soft foul? Yes. It was a foul on Bruno, so VAR should have checked that. I do agree with that. And please like and share to all United group share. Guys, please keep hitting that like button. Please keep sharing the stream and all of that. And Andrew says, I am an Ollie doubt, but if Varane doesn't start next match, I'm not sure I can give him any patience unless Varane has some hidden fitness issues. Exactly. For me, Varane has to start next match of the season. If Varane does not start the next match, I think it's embarrassing. If Varane does not start the next match, I think it's embarrassing. I think that reflects on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The fact, why, I don't know why Ollie neglects new players, why Ollie doesn't take risks. Amad Diallo should be starting over Daniel James for me. I think Amad Diallo could offer more than Daniel James. Ollie doesn't do it. I think Donny van der Beek could be offering more than everyone we got in the pivot. I think that Axel Tuanzebe could possibly offer more than Lindelof because the issue we have in midfield is pace. But Ollie doesn't want to do it. So if Ollie seriously gets to the position where he doesn't want to risk Varane over Lindelof, then that's when you've got to get seriously worried. I am doing a live watch along on Sunday for Wolves versus Manchester United, so make sure you are subscribed and stay tuned for that. Swap James for Neves and Martial with Saul. Wolves need a winger, Atletico need a striker. Haven't Atletico got Suarez and João Felix though? Do Atletico really need a striker? I mean, like, they probably do, but do they really? Unfortunately, I don't think Manchester United would be able to pull off those swap deals as much as I wish they could. But again, I do agree with that. The Glazers played us again. The biggest signing was last year's money and less than 40 mil for Varane, as if we don't have 30-40 million for a DM. Shaking my head, I agree. And David says, Fred has played plenty of games in the Premiership. He has his transfer value gone up or down. Fred's probably worth about 20 million quid. We spent 50 million quid on Fred. I don't know why. No other club in the world would have spent anywhere near 50 million on Fred. But of course, Manchester United go ahead and spend 50 million on Fred. And don't ask me why. I don't know why. João Felix is a cam like Bruno. Is he? I thought he's like a centre forward. And Tuanzebe should have stayed instead. We should have sold Baye. We should have sold Baye for 20 million. We gave Baye a new contract. That's another silly thing that Manchester United had done. Like, they did give Eric Baye a new contract. I like Baye, and I think on his day, Baye is our best centre back. But giving Eric Baye a new contract again is another silly decision from Manchester United. Another silly decision from the board. Another silly decision from the owners as well. Like, I love Eric Baye, but he did not deserve a new contract at Manchester United. He's always injured. Inter were willing to give us 20 million for Baye. Baye is one of those players that we should be looking to get rid of. We should have been looking to get rid of Eric Baye, and we didn't. And that reflects on the Glazers. I'm so sick of the Glazers. I'm sick of the Glazers too. And now Kane says, are you watching Arsenal once the live stream is finished? I probably won't watch the Arsenal game. I don't really want to watch two mid-table clubs playing. And PSG rejected a 160 million euro bid from Real Madrid for Mbappe. I want a lot more. I think that's silly. I know that PSG maybe want the season of Mbappe, Messi and Neymar. But PSG are going to lose Mbappe on a free next season, and they're willing to pay 150 million quid. All I'm saying is, if someone gave us 100 million for Paul Pogba, I'd accept it in a heartbeat. I'd accept 70 million for Paul Pogba rather than lose him on a free, and they can't expect 160 million. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Honestly, I'm sick and tired with this effing bastard club. New season, same problems, I agree. And also, we had the highest profit last season of all English clubs. It's just absurd. We have to sell before we buy. Man United can afford to sign us again. We can afford. We spent 115 million. We can afford to spend 150 million this window if we wanted to. We could afford to go out there and spend 35 million on Ruben Neves if we wanted to. Ollie wants Neves. Neves is what we need. He's 35 million. Wolves would be prepared to sell. Neves would like to come. If United were a serious club, if we were run by Sheikh Mansour, if we were run by Roman Abramovich, we would have probably got a Ruben Neves deal over the line. We probably would have signed a Camavinga as well, one for the future. We probably would have signed two midfielders, and we probably have Paul Pogba contract nailed down. We probably would have signed Sancho last summer, not this summer, and we'd probably be going, all right, this is the season we're going to win the Premier League. But unfortunately, new season, same owners, same problems. Same transfer window problems for Manchester United, and it is an embarrassment. It is a disgrace. Only excuse, Fred was the height of the crazy spending market. Even Man City were in for him. Yeah, I think that's the only excuse for Fred. But, we're looking to sell players like Donny and Pogba, but we want to keep Fred. I think we'll give Fred a new contract next year, knowing us. Are Man United in the draw once Arsenal was full-time? Man United will be in the draw, and PSG paid 180 million to want to go to Bayern Mbappe. Of course, they want higher, but it's got 1 year left in the deal. They're going to use him on a free. My only theory is, if PSG accept a bid for Mbappe, they could go in for Pogba. Definitely a chance that can happen. They could go and sign Camavinga, because right now, the Man United's first choice midfielder is Camavinga. Fabrizio Romano's confirmed that. If we're going to sign a midfielder, we're going to sign Camavinga. Okay? But if PSG gets some money from Mbappe, they've got Camavinga swoop done. That's not Camavinga happening. Now, if we sign Camavinga, are we going to play him? Probably not, but I'd rather sign a midfielder than no midfielder, and I think Camavinga would be a brilliant signing. You know, the only good news that's come out today is that Zouma to West Ham is cracking apart. West Ham are now going to go in for Lingard, and if we sell Lingard, we can buy Neves. You know, we're in for Saul as well. We've made contact for Saul. Chelsea are winning the Saul race. PSG look like they're winning the Camavinga race, which could leave us with third choice target Ruben Neves. And the situation we're in with third choice target Ruben Neves is bada bing, bada boom. You sell a player, you can buy him. Now, if we look like we're going to sell Lingard, we can potentially buy Ruben Neves on deadline day. And I think that's the only thing to look forward to come deadline day. Can United get a Neves deal over the line? Can we get any possible deals over the line? Will we get any big deals over the line come deadline day? I think that is the situation, and we just have to see where that pans out. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share this video. I'm trying to hit 150 likes by the end of the live stream, but we're only like 1 like away from 100 likes. So if you haven't hit that like button, please go ahead and hit that like button. Every like, sub, share means an absolute world to the channel. So please do hit that like button, subscribe down below, share this video. Sergio says that they need to buy junk food, fast cars, and investment in oil food so they can be richer than Newcastle owners, but they wouldn't even be able to do that without going into debt. And UTS Chubby says, I'm not even that excited about the last days of the transfer window because I know we won't do anything. You know what? I think something will happen. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay optimistic. I'm trying to be a positive Manchester United fan. I'm trying to be an optimistic Manchester United fan. I'm trying to stay as positive and as bright about the transfer window as I can. And I'm going to say that we're going to sell a player and possibly going to buy a player. Now, the player we buy could be someone like Harry Winks. No, the player we sign could possibly be a player that we realistically don't want to sign at Manchester United. But I'm trying to be as positive as possible regarding Manchester United signing and buying a player. I'm trying to be positive. So I'm going to say we're going to go out and we're going to sign a player and we're going to sell a player. You know, I'm trying to be positive, but again, we are run by clowns. We are run by idiots. There's a lot of negative news coming out at the moment. You know, we've got a big transfer window left. Hopefully, we go ahead and sign someone there. But guys, I am going to wrap up today's live stream. I am going to end the video here. We have been live for just over an hour. So please make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Up. If you had any questions in the live chat that they did not answer in today's video, I will be live tomorrow night for the Champions League draw. So make sure you do subscribe and tune into tomorrow's live stream because I will be live again tomorrow. So any questions you have for me that I didn't answer, subscribe, put post notifications on and put that in tomorrow's live stream. I will answer them then. Please smash that like button before you leave the live stream. We need to go for 150 likes. Please share this video with your friends. Comment your thoughts in the comments. If you're not watching live and you have any thoughts, just put them in the comments. I will go and read some of the comments in this video as well. But like this video, subscribe, share, and all of that stuff. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Sell to buy. Could something happen with Camavinga? Could something happen with Neves? Will Lingard stay or go? What's happening with Pogba? And more. Thank you for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, bye. See you next time.